And good evening, or good morning, curling fans at the Utica Curling Club. This is the Utica Curling Channel. I'm Roger Allett, and I'm here with Tim Conboy. Say hi, Tim.
Hi, Roger. How are you? Hi, everybody.
And we'll be bringing you Draw 2 of the USWCA National Bonspiel. Our feature game today is on Sheet 4, and will feature Schenectady, skipped by Faye Navratil, third Paula Lancaster, second Denise Kashmir, I like that name, and lead Leslie Cook. And they'll be facing off against Circle City. They're out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Skipped by Tammy Hoffman. Third, Sandy Chouinard. Second, Katie Schoenberg. And lead, Susan Fleck. Schenectady will be playing the Red Rocks. Circle City will be playing the Blue Rocks.
The warm room is packed. The parking lot, there's no room left. There's a lot of people down here watching. A lot of people down here playing.
Yeah, 32 teams here in this U.S. Women's Curling Association National Bonspiel. We're pleased to host it this year at the Utica Curling Club. This is the 73rd USWCA National Bonspiel, and they are celebrating their 75th year as an organization.
There should be some good curling this weekend there. There are teams from all over the country.
From coast to coast.
I'm not sure who's the longest or the farthest traveled city or club.
Well, we've got teams from as far away as Phoenix and
Denver.
The Midwest, Denver, Silicon Valley, that's got to be California. Hopefully we can get a game with them on the streaming sometime this weekend. We've got 14 draws for you this weekend, so one feature game every draw. And it looks like in the first end, Circle City with the Blue Rocks will have the last rock advantage.
Be interesting. Some of these clubs, they've mentioned they're from arena ice, so this ice may be a little bit different for them.
This will be a lot different for them because it's running about 25 to 26 seconds. And we've got 4 feet of curl, I think, on most sheets. I think the last time I played out here was on Sunday in our Cobb Mixed Bonspiel, and we had lots of curl.
I know somebody had mentioned they were hoping for 21 to 22 second ice, so
not happening.
I think we're going to be better than that if we're curling in the parking lot.
In our final on Sunday, I think I timed a couple of draws at about 27 and a half. So really nice ice if you want to throw to your sweepers.
Okay, one just went through the house there. It was a good draw, good line. It's a little heavy. Like a tight guard in there.
Couple guards up for Schenectady. Susan Fleck of Circle City trying to come around these 2 guards and beat Schenectady to the 4-foot. The weight looks really good here.
Yeah, her first rack went through the house. Looks like she adjusted nicely.
Oh, a ton of curl. This is going to come out the backside. Just peeking out the backside. Nice draw there by Susan Fleck. Denise Kashmir for Schenectady. Trying to come around and freeze to Shot Stone. This curling hard. Going to be a little heavy.
Well, it looked like a good line if it was a little bit lighter. So it would have come right down to it. Maybe a little bump.
Now a chance to stick a second one in for Circle City. And get half around that tight card. Planning on about 5 feet of curl here. Katie Schoenberg with her first. Looks like everyone's first shot is going to be a little hot. Our ice crew's done a wonderful job this year of getting this ice really, really quick.
It looks like she's calling to clear that guard out of there.
A little wide. One thing you don't want to be on a hit is wide. I'll move something. That high guard's almost not in play. Almost would think you want to clear the low one.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're just trying to clear that so they can maybe use that other red as a run back.
See, the guard is so high, it's almost not in play for any kind of draw or tap.
I can't see, we're not directly behind on this sheet, so it's hard to say what that second guard is.
The second guard's right in front of Shot Stone, and it looks like it's wide open. Here's another one sailing through, so both teams struggling a bit with draw weight. Looks like the ice is nice and quick. Schenectady, of course, is just up the road from us here at Utica, only about an hour and a half away. It's a short trip for them. They come out here a lot to curl and vice versa.
That looks like it might hang around, but I don't know if it's going to curl in.
That's going to go right to the back of the house. So far, lead Susan Fleck of Circle City is the only one to find draw weight. And it's her stone that's buried behind the tight corner guard.
See, Circle City's trying to bring another one right down to that blow.
Good situation for them, really. The middle's open. And they're tucked in behind the corner. They'd like to get another one under and set up 3 here, but this looks like maybe another heavy one. Yeah, I tried to tuck that around their shot stone so it was less accessible. They're going to leave a pocket now. This could be the get out of jail free card for Schenectady. They can freeze one to a rock that was just thrown by Circle City. This looks like a little better weight.
Yeah, some people will go down and try to hit that second stone. I don't see where that does anything as well as a freeze.
Yeah, it doesn't help you. It takes away the backing. This looks really good if they can hold the line. They don't want to bounce here. Don't want to bounce. They had to sweep to get by. the stone on the top 4, and their shot stone. But they did remove the backing. Nice shot there by Paula Lancaster to get her team out of a little bit of a pickle. Circle City sitting second and third, but Schenectady shot rock.
This one looks like it might be a little wide, maybe a little heavy. Maybe a lot heavy.
And now chance for Schenectady to cover up their shot stone. Faye Navertal with her first.
It's also interesting for a lot of the teams here that might be their first time being timed like they are for each thinking time.
Yeah, it's the full Monty here. For those of you just tuning in, these are 10-in games. And every game is timed. Both teams get 38 minutes of thinking time. Just like the pros. They don't get a 5th-in break, though, which I find. If I was curling, I would be very tired. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I would appreciate the 5 minutes, but to get everything together, I think they didn't have enough time to add that in as well.
Looks like that's drawn in nicely.
Well, it's going to freeze right into the pocket. That's really nicely done. They're actually sitting 2 now. That applies a lot of pressure. Circle City, beautiful draw by Faye Navertal.
Yeah, some of us have played time games, but they time one time for both teams, so that's not as fair maybe as this one is for each team. It has their own separate time for thinking time.
Yeah, if you're up against a very slow team, then kind of penalizes the team that's actually playing quickly. Requires an enormous amount of volunteer effort, however, to time all these games. But it does keep the games moving along, so that we can appreciate.
Right, for people that don't know, we're a 6-sheet club, so we've got all 6 sheets going, most every draw. And again, would be 6 timers. Times how many draws, Roger?
14 draws.
14 draws. A lot of manpower.
You got
Power. Oh, what would you do here, Roger?
Well, you don't really have much of an option here. It looks like you're going to try to come down and tap those 2 red stones, see if you can get rid of at least one. There should be enough curl to get down to these. You could probably throw, what, 3 to rings weight here? Get around to the nose.
Yeah, it is out there a little bit, so.
I think if you can get to nose here and push one of those red stones back, you'll have a chance to push the other one back with your last, but Schenectady will guard up. This looks pretty good if they get by.
Sweeping hard.
Oh, this looks like to be a really nice shot.
Oh, wow.
And man, they're able to spill the red stone out into the open.
Remove one red, bring the other one out in the open.
Yeah, and sitting 2-3, so really nice shot there by Tammy Hoffman of Circle City. Going to force Faye Navertal to throw a really good stone here. I think probably try to freeze on those blues again. I think Schenectady needs 2 stones in play here.
Right, that one red stone out there is pretty vulnerable.
It's very lonely. I think Faye would like to freeze right onto that blue stone and give up 1 this end. Last rock first in for Faye Navertal. This is way out there. They might just have to satisfy themselves with a guard on their shot stones. Got to get over, though.
They just made it over the hot line.
And it's not going to cover shot stone, though. It's going to be wide open. So an opportunity now for Circle City, if they can come through the port and hit shot stone, score a big three-ender here.
Looks like a pretty decent-sized port to come through with the out turn.
Not sure I play the out here. I think this will curl really hard once it crosses the center line.
That's what they're calling though, right?
Yeah, they're throwing the out. I'd be tempted to throw the in on this shot. I think it'll run a little straighter. This line could be a little tricky. If you're a little outside on the center line, it may hang just a little bit.
Got to get by that very, very high guard that's just over the hot line.
Those of us who curl here regularly, of course, know the quirks of all these sheets, so our visitors may not be so savvy unless they've gotten some local intel. Last rock, first in, Circle City.
They're sweeping right out of her hand.
Yeah, a little light, just over curled, crashes on the guard. That'll be a steal of one for Schenectady. Missed opportunity for Circle City. After one end of play, Schenectady leads 1-0. Circle City will retain the last rock advantage, playing the Blue Rocks in the second end.
Over on sheet one, we have Broomstone scored 2 in the first end over Racine. Sheet 3, Coyote. Is that how you pronounce it, Roger?
Coyotes, yes.
Coyotes against South Shore. Coyotes scored 3 over South Shore. Sheet 5, Albany scored 1 over Exmoor. And that's all right now. Nothing on sheet 2 and sheet 6 as yet.
And sheet 6 just hung their score. Blackhawk took a couple against Composite West. And they 2-0 after one.
Well, that was a well-played first end there, so it looks like this could be a good game.
First end actually turned a couple times. It looked like Circle City had the advantage. Then Faye Navratil with a great freeze got herself out of trouble. And then that was quickly undone by Tammy Hoffman, who made a really nice takeout to move shot stone in the open. Just over curled and wrecked on an attempt to score 3. So. Corner guard slips into the rings.
Not sure if that first one was called in the house, the red, or if they wanted the second guard. I didn't see the original call.
Well, it's certainly too deep. So.
Well, he's still going to be adjusting to the speed of the ice, I'm sure, for the first couple ends.
This one will be a little hot too, I think. He's checking up.
Well, coming down the ice, it didn't look like it there for a minute. It looked like it was going to come right in.
Yeah, trouble guarding a rock behind the tee line is, of course, Circle City can now come around and draw above that stone and be covered by the guard and have some backing.
And the guard is high enough too, so it does give him room to fairly easily come behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can get fully buried here if they take the right line.
Well, this doesn't look like it's going to do it, though.
Now, a little light's going to over curl.
End up with another corner guard on the wrong corner. Okay, on sheet 2, they just posted the score. It's Denver scored 1 over Utica 1 in the first end. So it looks like Schenectady might be trying to put a second one in, or guard the one that's already in there, in the back house.
Working this hard. Not going to make the house. Schenectady remains shot, though, behind T-line.
That did help guard it a little bit, but looks like Circle City's ready to get rid of both of these guards, or at least one of them.
It's like they're playing a single peel here. May over curl.
Oh.
And they'll get the double. Watch your rocks there. Unfortunately, they spilled a Schenectady stone into the rings, but it rolled to a spot that actually covers second stone. Didn't look like that curled enough.
Yeah, I think that is still exposed a little bit. Looks like they're going to try and come right through that port there and remove it.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the hole. It should be gettable.
Actually, roll either way would put him under cover after the hit.
Looks a little tight. They're going to get shot rock. Probably could have come up a bit on the sweep. It looked like it needed to curl just a shade more, but mission accomplished.
What's the most important thing in a hit and roll?
Yeah, there's no roll without the hit, that's for sure. That was very solid weight. That looked like at least 9 seconds. Hog to hog.
This one looks a little more down weight. Probably a good control weight hit.
Yeah, got a little wide. Gonna catch this blue rock on the outer half, and not even T-line weight. And that's unfortunate. Puts another blue one in the rings.
Looks like they're sitting 1, 2, 3.
Well, those two blues are now bunched, so they're doubleable. You'd love to put something in front of those two blues. I don't know how you get there. You can't draw through that port and be in the middle of the hole.
No, I almost wonder if you've got to go for the in-turn to get there.
Maybe come this way around the top 4 and hope they can't roll under. They're gonna try the outs. They're gonna try to come in this way. I think that's the right call. Even if you get half tucked under this red, maybe a Christmas tree, right? Do your little Christmas tree here, it might be okay.
I wasn't sure if they're just going to try and block the hole, right smack in the middle, or looks like they're going to.
Oh, they're going to get caught in the same run, and they're going to poke the red one in. That wasn't exactly what they had in mind. At least they'll get that to the back of the house.
Actually, right out of the house, I believe.
Yep, just outside the rings.
Leaving them wide open for a hit. Circle City or Schenectady.
Yeah, you hit this a little bit on the high side. You should get both. Oops, let me draw my arrow a little better here. Hit this just a little high side. They should both go. Might be able to keep your shooter too.
It does seem to be a little bit of a run right in that line right through there. They seem to be staying pretty sturdy.
And that started out pretty wide. Can take a little tighter ice on this draw this time. That's going to curl to a nice spot. There's not much of a port there.
Well, she's looking at running her red back.
Well, I think your choices of getting out of trouble here is either draw around that center guard.
I do like running the red back, though, because one, you can knock one of the blues out, and two, if you run it back properly, you'll open it up, too.
Yeah, the danger is that Schenectady doesn't have hammer this end. And they don't have anything in the rings that shot.
Of course, it does look like you could potentially draw it down to.
Yeah, I think you can definitely play the in-turn draw, right, and draw right behind that center guard above those two blue stones. I mean, we're down to skip rocks here, so you got two chances to get out of the end. Circle City's sitting 3. They're set up for a big end here. Faye Navratil with her first, looking to run this red stone back onto the 2 and side of the 4-foot. This looks like a really nice shot. It's going to roll a little too far. No, it's going to stay behind the center guard. So nice shot by Faye. Very, very confident in that shot call and execution.
Sitting shot at this point.
Yeah, definitely shot back.
Behind cover, but there is a port to come down to it. Maybe a little tap back.
I think the out-turn is there. Out-turn tap is definitely there. The good news for Faye is that those rocks will be behind T-line when they're done. Well, you almost want to roll somewhere with this, right? If you can. You hate to leave a sitting duck there on the back button.
Well, if they hit that on the inside, they should roll over on top of their stone.
And I think they'll be right beside it. So they're trying to come through this little port and take this red stone out. He'll pretty much be sitting maybe right on or just behind T-line.
Right, I was looking at the wrong colors there for a moment.
When this is all done. I think they'd like to roll somewhere, right?
Yes.
Just so there's not a freeze in a big pocket back there, but first objective is to get rid of the stone. Circle City set up for a pretty big end here if they can.
Really just barely bump weight, almost freeze weight comes down to it. And a little
but
bit
but they're shot.
Shot and almost frozen.
I think there's a double. Come through this hole, bing, bing. Double's there. This rock goes out here. This one's gone.
I don't think there's a big enough port to not hit either blue, though. I don't think. Doesn't look like you come through and hit red.
No, there's no room to go to squirt through the hole. I think you want to hit. You want to hit this rock on the side of the 4-foot, probably as thin as you can, and that should move the shot stone over as well. Definitely there. Circle City is actually sitting. It might be sitting two, maybe it's just one. Circle City sitting shot. Faye Navertal with her last here in the second end. I don't think there's enough weight for a double. I think they're just looking to freeze or tap. Coming in really nice. Gonna get the little tap. And Schenectady shot stone. Nicely done. So they went for the tap instead of the double. And there's shot rock and just no way to remove it.
No, I don't think no matter where you hit it, I think you're going to end up, you can't really remove it right, left, or even straight back. There's nowhere for it to go.
You can not be able to chip it out. And be afraid I'm going to lose one of my blues in the process. So, I mean, they can come through this hole. And if they catch a piece of this, might go over the top. That's a little iffy.
Well, right now they're sitting second rock.
Yep.
If they hit it wrong.
If you hit it thick, they're going to jam it on their second stone. And it could give up a steal of two if they don't sit right there. If you get to nose, you might only give up one.
Well, it's early enough in the game to try something, too.
Two really nice shots there by Faye Navertal to, again, extricate her team from a little bit of trouble here in the second end. Circle City was setting up for a fairly big end. Just like they did in the first end. It slipped away just a little bit. Oh, look at that. Rolled underneath. I think that was a plan B, but it worked. Circle City hits and rolls, and I think covers the pin.
Everybody's looking down there saying, how'd that happen?
And they get their single.
What looked like a missed shot ended up taking one.
So we got us a tie game after one. Schenectady with the Redstones will have the last rock advantage here in the third end.
And sheet one, Broomstones took an additional 4, bringing them 6-0 over Racine. So Broomstones got a significant lead at this point in the second end. Sheet two, Utica 1 took 3, so it's 3-1 over Denver. Utica 1, 3, Denver 1. Sheet 3, Coyotes took additional 2 points, so it's 5-0 over South Shore. Tied 1-1 on Sheet 5, Albany and Exmoor, 1-1. In Sheet 6, Blackhawk, 5-0 over Composite West. So some big scores here in the second end.
In our feature game, they were all tied up at 1. Seems like Circle City has been knocking on the door with hammer. Just got a feeling that one of these ends they're going to break through.
Well,
Peyton Avertol has just made some outstanding shots to avoid disaster and has managed to come up with a steal. Almost got a second steal in that second end. But now Schenectady with the last rock advantage here to see if they can set up a big end for themselves.
that was an interesting hit she threw because the stone actually went around in a little bit of a circle inside that house, or inside that
yeah, they kind of did
pocket.
Did a little round the world in the pocket, right?
Always fun to watch shots like that. Making something out of potentially nothing. Just a reminder to people that are watching, we'll be broadcasting all 14 draws. Trying to highlight a different club every draw.
Looks like draw weight continues to be a little elusive here in the third end.
Looks like a biter on one of the stones.
I think they're both just off the rings, actually, from our overhead cameras. And Schenectady coming up short on a come around. Left near center guard for Circle City. And that one's not going to go around. Going to hang on to the back of the rings. So who's going to get around the center guard first? And that one overburied. Maybe a little deep. Swept that right to the tee line. And that one was tight from the get-go. Looking for the alternate here. Chipped off the center guard. Now a chance for Schenectady to bury another one.
Looks like she was calling it for the top 12, maybe?
You don't want to go too deep here.
They're not going to get that one into the rings.
That's not what they were looking for, so.
Can't tell, is there a port to come down through there? Or?
I think so. I think the intern draws there. Can definitely get through that port, I think. I mean, if you bury the stone, you're never going to be close to that blue rock.
Yeah, I was thinking more in terms of trying to remove that red.
No, I don't know if you can do that. You got to throw a bullet.
And now it looks like they're going to try the raised takeout on their blue.
And if you make it, it's great. If you open it up for Schenectady, maybe not so great.
Not a lot of weight there.
Need to keep holding the line here.
Well, they provided more cover for it.
And now neither run back looks as easy as it was before.
Almost looks like that higher blue, if they try to run it back, is going to hit the other blue.
It's going to be really tight. To remove shot stone, they'd have to skinny the blue on the way by. It's basically taking away the outer half of the red rock for the run back, so it makes it a little more difficult. They're going to guard these run backs. And then what you don't want to do is line up one here for them. And that angle's pretty good, so that takes away everything.
Again, I can't tell on that upper blue from my angle if they hit it on the outside a little bit, if that could run back and hit the red.
Don't think so. I don't think the angles are good. I think this blue is always going that way.
I just don't want to hit the inside blue on the outside of it. Oh, you're right.
The top blue, yeah, none of those angles work well.
Yeah, looking at the screen versus looking down the ice from my angle, they look totally different.
Oh, just not there.
It actually hit the way I was talking to. It just proved my point that it's not there.
Well, the line for this looked great. I think it's just a shade heavy. It is going to spin into the rings.
Got a little tick there, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, it didn't spin in for shot. I don't think. Maybe it did. Maybe it spun just far enough.
For second shot?
Could be. First glance, I didn't think it rolled far enough, but it looks close.
We'll get skip stones to come here.
Looks like shot stone is open now. When they tick the guard, they actually move some of their cover. And I think shot stone is now accessible with the in-turn hit. Might be able to hit and roll under. In fact, I think you're going to roll.
Well, if they do crash, they'll open it up a little bit more, maybe. It's the angle I'm looking at, then I look at the screen there. It's a lot more open. We're not directly behind the sheets from where we're sitting, so it's a little bit harder for me to get an angle, look at it through the glass.
Yeah, or down the ice camera looks like the shot stone is pretty open. Looks like they're going to come the other way at it. I'm not sure I like this turn. Kind of coming backwards through the port. We'll see if they know the ice well enough to make this. Looks pretty good. Nicely done. They're going to get a little outside roll.
Yep.
Boy, it's a gutsy shot because that was very tight port with that turn.
I was thinking after they shot it that if they'd come the other way and got a tick, they would have rolled over under cover. But that was a very gutsy call.
She threw that shot in the first in and over curled, so she put a little more weight on that one and navigated the port very nicely. This.
This really puts some pressure on Schenectady now. They're going to try the same shot, basically. Come down and tap that one out.
Well, they just saw it, so they went to school. They can go to school on Circle City's throw.
A little bit of a roll to the outside on Circle City's stone, so.
Yeah, so they may be able to roll back toward the middle on this one.
For a plan B, maybe a raise.
Yeah, they clunked the guard.
Click.
And removed their second stone, but replaced it with another second stone. So the Circle City is now shot and covered.
Over on sheet one, Broomstone took an additional point, 7-0 over Racine. And over on number 6, Blackhawk took 4 additional points. So they are a total of 9-0 over Composite West. Sheet 3, Coyotes took an additional point, 6-0 over South Shore. Albany took another point. 2-1 over Exmoor on sheet 5.
In the second draw, these are all A event games. We'll get into some B event games this afternoon. Tammy Hoffman trying to just dunk one through the port here. Cover up the path to her shot stone. This looks like it's going to be a very nice shot. And there will be no tap back for 2 for Schenectady, so they'll have to figure out how to get their single. This will be tough. They need to get full 4-foot, and they've got a corner guard in the way. That corner guard is problematic because it's on the draw path to the button.
And if they come the other way, only be able to get maybe the outside of the 4.
Yeah, there's not much room in this port either way, right? I mean, you can't go that way and you can't go that way, and just there's no room. They're going to have to come around the wide side and hope there's enough curl to get full 4, or you can try the angle raise. I'm skeptical there's enough curl for them to draw the full 4-foot around that corner guard. Yeah, it looks like they're coming back to the angle raise.
Yep, that's what they've decided on, the angle raise.
Still early, 10 ends. Circle City only sitting to 1, but fully buried. There's a chance for 2 here if they... I think you can sneak this stone by to shot rock and move it. That might be a risk worth taking. I don't think you can hit your own red. Last stone, third end. Schenectady looking for an angle raise here for 1 or 2. Angle's not bad. Do they have the weight? No.
No, they don't.
Hit it just a little too high and a little too light. It'll be a steal of 1 for Circle City. They take a 2-1 lead after 3. Schenectady with Red Rocks will have the hammer again here in the 4th end. Our Circle City team hails out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Katie Schoenberg, the second, actually has some roots here in Rome, New York, just not too far from the Utica Curling Club. Katie's curled for 7 years, enjoys camping, hiking, spending time in our cabin in the Adirondacks. So I'd like to do that too. I love the Adirondacks. And riding a horse. Katie says hello to John, who's also a curler. Daughters Whitney and Marie, in parentheses, future curlers. There's someone with a plan, and all our friends and family here in Central New York. So good to see some Central New York returnees. Susan Fleck, the lead for Circle City, is from Reynolds, Indiana. She's also curled. She curled for 9 years. Another camper has an Airstream. Enjoys gardening, photography, woodblock prints, cooking and collecting antique maps. Pretty eclectic. Says hello to husband David. Not a curler, but a supporter. Third for Circle City is Sandy Chouinard. Transplant from Saskatoon, Canada, in Saskatchewan. Been curling for 12 years. And Sandy's not curling. She enjoys scuba fishing, scouting, cooking, traveling, gardening, playing with her dogs, and collecting coasters. Says hello to Kent and Ben. And finally, the skip for Circle City, Tammy Hoffman. Curled for 13 years, enjoys disc golf, axe throwing. That was very popular, we found out, in the Canadian Maritimes. We couldn't believe how many axe throwing places we saw up there when we were curling up in the Maritimes. Says hello to her boyfriend, Jared. And she has a dog that enjoys watching curling. That is unusual. That's your Circle City team. Circle City set up some good ends so far. They were unable to close on a couple really key shots to set up some big scores with the hammer. Circle City does lead 2-1 here. Dave will be here on Saturday for the A semifinals. Part of our regular web streaming crew. I think this event is a conclusion of a very busy web streaming season. We've had the Grand National Curling Club Senior Mixed. Just finished up with the Bonspiel.
This is the debut of all the new equipment that's been installed over the summer and early fall.
Yeah, this season has been the first with our new digital cameras.
New house cameras and monitors at the far end, which is nice.
And the monitors on the far end have been very nice for, they're seeing what you're seeing on your screen during play.
I know the front end appreciates it because they can figure out the shot that the skip should be calling.
Yeah, they can argue for quite a while the back end's debating, and it's actually great for mixed doubles as well. Schenectady is getting some rocks in the rings. Right now they got them around the edges.
Sweeping this one pretty hard, bring it down.
Yeah, trying to go around the middle, and you just hate being light up the middle with hammer. This is going to give Circle City a chance now to bury one behind the center guard and safely outcount those two red stones that are just biting the 12-foot. This one looks really hot, though.
I look at our on-screen scoreboard there, it's a little off, so let me update them, and then Roger can maybe update them. Sheet 1, Broomstones, 8-0 over Racine. On sheet 2, Utica won 4-1 over Denver. Sheet 3, Coyotes 6-0 over South Shore. And on sheet 5, Albany 2 over Exmoor 1. Sheet 6, long way away. I got to squint to get this one. It's 9-0. Blackhawks 9. Composite West, nothing. That's all after 3 ends.
Nice draw there by Schenectady to line 3. They got around the center guard first, and they're in pretty good position, just biting top 4.
Looks like Circle City's going to try and come in on the other side.
Yeah, they're going to try the out-turn draw. Need to out-count at least one of these Schenectady stones. They're starting to pile up. And you need to get this one tucked under. And I don't know if it's going to bury.
Should they have gone after that raised, or gone after the red stone on the top 4 while it's still somewhat open?
Can't see very much of it. Might have been good to freeze to something. I mean, the shot they threw is okay if they get tucked underneath. But they're in pretty big trouble now. Even a nose hit on this would put Circle City in a bit of trouble.
Right now, I guess Schenectady is not going to do anything to protect that other red. They're going to go after the blue. Circle City just shot.
I mean, they can sit 4 here. They get a little on the inside. They might even be able to roll under. This one's going to hang out.
It looks like that same spot out there, just a little bit. It's been hanging.
Yeah, you get a lot of up weight outside. I don't think they're going to come back. Now a chance for Circle City to tap up and get themselves out of a little bit of a pickle. Just back 4, back 8 weight. Hit about a half a rock here and tuck this under. This looks like big weight. This is like board weight. Not what they're looking for. Looking for just back house weight there to play a little tap up.
Yeah, the only thing they could have been hoping is hit it very thin and just kind of scooch it in a little bit. But
yep. So now a second chance for Schenectady. They're going to take tighter ice this time, so they've noticed it's a little straight out there.
Yeah, almost definitely right on the rock.
Yeah, they're right in the middle of the rock. And I think a nose hit here would be okay.
Yeah, if they hit it a little bit outside, it could jam on their back red. That looks like it's hanging out there too. Must have been thrown a little wide. Definitely wasn't on the boom.
Yeah, it looked like it ran pretty straight.
There's that one section where they're coming straight down, and with that kind of weight, they're staying nice and straight. Well, Circle City's narrowing the broom a little bit. They're going to still try that tap up.
And just back 4, back 8 weight here. You don't need to throw a ton of weight here. Again, hit about a half a rock. Back 8 weight should tuck under the guards right on the forefoot.
If they can get that one in there just touching the top button, that would be cool.
Still looks a little heavy. This is going to over curl, so they found the curly spot. Well, it's a magical blue rock. No one's managed to touch it yet. Let's see if they can do it.
It's a little more open now, so she's moved that broom. Oh, they moved the broom out a little bit from where they put it before. That curl they saw Circle City throw, they must have scared them a little bit. Proper weight, that should come over just that little bit and knock it straight back.
Yeah, nose is perfect here. If you hit it high side, you got to watch the jam in the back.
She was indicating with the broom she wanted to hit it inside though and roll under cover.
Well, you can, but it's pretty tough. I wouldn't try to get too cute and miss it. Nose hit would be okay. I think the inside roll is a bonus.
She's firing that pretty good out of there.
And still backing up.
Catch a piece of it though.
We'll go over the top, so it's at least removed.
Magic stone no more.
And now Circle City's got to make a good one here. They're facing 3. I think they'd like to outcount at least 2 of those. Tammy Hoffman needs to find the right line here for this out-turn draw. Boy, that's very tight ice for a draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it that straight out there?
Well, it is for the weight they've been throwing for the takeouts, but we don't know draw weight. I think it's going to curl. Starting to go right now. Yeah, it's not going to make it.
And then it will curl with some weight, so not enough weight and probably not enough ice there. It's going to be an open draw for 4 for Schenectady. They can come right to their own.
Really, at this point, any place in the paint is going to be good for him.
Yep, touch paint will do.
Of course, I think everybody's throwing a draw or 2 against something like this. All you got to do is touch paint and you're short. Or you're long.
Well, you got backing here, so as long as you take the right line, you can come right to your own stone. And this looks just fine. That's going to come right to shot stone. And that's a big score of 4 for Faye Navratil and Schenectady. And they take a 5-2 lead after 4 ends of play. Circle City will get the hammer back here in the 5th end with the Blue Stones. They've had some nice ends set up so far, so let's see what they can do here in the 5th end.
Okay, over in sheet 3, Coyotes are 6-2 on South Shore. South Shore took 2 in the 4th end. They're working their way back.
Looks like over on sheet 5, we're tied up 2-2, Albany and Exmoor, after 4 ends of play.
And Composite West took 2, so bringing them Blackhawks 9, Composite West 2. That's your 6.
I think that brings you up to date. And across the rink.
Sheet 2 still playing their 4th end, just fishing up on it. Not sure what the score was. We'll wait for them to post it before we tell you. sweeping Virginia.
It certainly is.
Game.
I played a few of those in the front end, and it's you can be rubber-armed by the end.
At least if it's the playoff game, you don't mind it as much, but this is going to be all weekend long.
Yep, every game.
Still got a pretty good crowd here in the warm room watching on. I think our next draw is at 2.
2 o'clock, yes, and our feature game will be Charlotte against St. Paul. So one of our Southeastern teams against one of our Minnesota teams. We'll try to spread the wealth here at least early in the event as we get close to the quarterfinals and semifinals. We might see a team or two again. For those of you who want to know what to watch, you can go to our website and open up our live draw, and you can see the curling schedule as well as the streaming selections as they become available. So today's selections were already decided, but we'll probably select some games for tomorrow once the other events, the B and C events, get populated.
And how would they know they're selected? Is that the ones that are highlighted yellow?
Yeah, the streaming games are highlighted on the schedule, so you can look right on the draws.
Right, there is a live draw board there, so you can keep track of your local teams throughout this event. Yeah, we're looking at the live draw board. It's not been updated from this morning's games. We're going to attempt to find out who is going to keep that up, and hopefully we'll keep it up for you. Albany's got 1 in the house. They're trying to draw behind for 2. That one's going to go a bit deep. Going to end up in the back 12. Circle City's going to try clearing something up front or do a run back. Their shooter stumbled a little bit coming out of the hat, but she recovered nicely. Got the stone there trying to hit.
Looks like Circle City may have got a little gummed up this end.
Schenectady's now got 3 in the house, so Circle City's trying to figure out which one they're going to remove, which way they're going to come. Looks like it's going to be an in-turn hit on the top red. And they were successful. Looks like right now they're sitting second shot. Schenectady's looking at removing it. Actually, that was not really takeout weight. Might have been trying for a draw that didn't curl. Promoting Stone back.
This one's over curling, but they might get, there's not enough weight.
Got their own.
That was not in the plan.
No. Maybe that's the possibility. They should have come up sweeping. Maybe it would have crossed the face a little bit more. There's a hesitation. They would have put the redstone into more of the butt area, but they would have removed their own. Those are tough sweep calls.
Yeah, when you kind of lost a shot and you're not quite sure what to do. Yeah, when do you give up? Now a chance for Schenectady to really apply some pressure here.
Guard that hole, they're going to put another one right on top. What do you think?
I bring one right in if you can get in with the draw. I think you can. Just bite top 12.
I think sometimes the hesitation is to put a long guard out there, the guard that you already have.
Faye's not happy. She knew she threw that a little up and a little out. But you know what? It's going to move. It's going to move a. Oh no.
They just returned the favor.
They returned the favor, but you know, Schenectady's still sitting 2. That's one of those. Oh no, I didn't just do that, did I? It's the slow motion train wreck.
Sometimes when somebody in the team before you makes a great shot, you can follow them down. There's an example where they made a not so great shot. You followed them down and made the exact same shot.
Made the same error twice. So, but it's not.
They come down right now and tap that blue. With that broom, are they going to tap the blue or are they going to go after the red?
I just wonder if they're just going to take out this red. You got a couple options here. If you nose it, it's not horrible. If you hit say a quarter rock, you might double the 2 reds out. I kind of like hanging around. I think if you just nose this blue, or excuse me, just nose this red stone.
Save the tap back for later?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to. need to move it yet. This looks really good. He's going to get a little inside roll. Oh, well, the angle's not perfect. If I had rolled another 6 inches, it would have been deadly.
It's going to kind of make it more difficult to tap that red out of there now.
Well, do you get a little drag on this if you hit that blue rock on the high side?
You're going to get enough drag is the question.
Yeah, they're not far apart. It's, I think you can get the red.
And you get more drag the harder you hit it?
Yep. And the little wider you hit it as well. I think there's a little drag shot here, so I think if Circle City were shooting now and you hit the high side of this blue, let's see if I can draw that a little better, then you're sending that stone this way. This stone will go more straight back, and it should remove the red one. Might be able to get 2 that way. Of course, Faye will have something to say about that. She's going to freeze onto these stones if she can. Looks like a little heavy. Just going to hang around. Yes, it's going to. Interesting. It almost lined up the 2 blues.
Now, does that help that drag a little bit? Because it's going to.
It won't affect anything with the drag.
Oh, it keeps the blue from going left, though.
The trouble is it probably prevents you from scoring 2 here. So if you hit this blue high side, I think this stone goes right on the shot stone. Because it'll drag to the right. So you're dragging this stone to the right. This stone is going to get dragged to the right as well. So instead of going off in that direction, so you think this back stone is going off in this direction, but if you hit this top stone on the high side, this stone will go a little more straight back instead.
Well, with that red there, is it going to keep it also?
Nah, it won't make any difference.
No difference?
Yeah, it's not a factor.
Okay, well, let's see what they're doing here.
The question is, can you keep a rock around the shooter? This is going to over curl, I think. No, we'll look pretty good. They're going to hit the high side. This is going to drag. And there you go. And he got her 1. Look at that. Beautiful shot. I love the drag effect.
It was a very good example of the drag effect right there.
Yep. They clunked it pretty good going by. So really nice recovery there by Circle City. They make a really clever little drag shot there to get their single. They close the gap to 5-3. That's after 5 ends of play. But Schenectady holds a 2-point lead. They will have the hammer and the red stones in the 6th end.
Circle City with their center line guard, bringing it into the house a little bit farther than they wanted to. I think they would have preferred the guard outside. And it slid right into the top floor. Be interesting to know what the ice is timed at right now. Looks like it's gliding pretty good, though, for the draws.
It was certainly pretty fast in the first draw today. We were getting about 15 hug to hug. So it was pretty quick.
Schenectady going to remove Circle City Stone, and they're going to roll out of the rings. Must have been a good shot over on 2. There's hooting and hollering behind the glass. Somebody appreciated something. Utica 1 picked up an additional score, making it 5-2 against Denver. It's always fun to watch the games from behind the glass. There are a number of superior skips behind the glass. Rarely does anybody miss a shot back here.
Yeah, and they never get a strategy call wrong, ever.
Sometimes you get that expression, if that was me, I would. Or I would have.
Yeah, that's great, except you aren't on the ice, so.
Well, if you get a couple of good people back here, it's a good learning experience because you can get a lot of questions answered on what you would do if you're not sure. Some good, some bad. One Schenectady Stone in the back of the house. After the way they've been playing these ends, this one's still somewhat uneventful.
Pretty open end. I guess the guard came in the rings and started a whole train of hits. Freeze attempt just over curled. Probably needed to stop sweeping earlier if they were losing line to keep that on the rings.
Right. That's the other, sometimes I know myself, sometimes you stay on it, you're not quite sure why afterwards, you sweep it right by. You said if you'd come up a little bit earlier, it would have stayed a little bit higher in the rings. Maybe in a jam possibility.
Well, at least make them chase it, right? You know, make them chase their stone.
Right.
So now it's a freebie. So Schenectady can just split the rings here.
Almost looks like they're going to come down and probably put another one in, maybe guard that back one. No, they're not going to make the rings.
And Cardinal Sen light up the middle with hammer. So I would think you'd want to go just the opposite side of the rings of that stone in the back. And that stone in the back is not a great one, but it's a potential second counter. I think you want to get as far away from it as possible. Split the rings.
Well, there is some question I've heard. When do you split the rings? What is the...
Well, anytime you can sit 1-2 is usually pretty good with hammer. If you do it too early in the end, it's hard to maintain it toward the end. But generally, you don't like to guard a rock that's behind T-line. So that one's a pretty poor rock, so I wouldn't guard it.
Right, but would they have been just as good off coming down to the 12 or 8 foot in line with that rock?
Well, no, then you give the other team a chance to draw around it with your stone as backing. So then you're giving them an out.
Okay.
So I think you split the rings and take your chances at that point. You may not be able to maintain your 2 stones to the end because it means you have to make every one of your hits, even though the other team can hit and roll out. But you don't have much choice, really. I mean, unless you're just going to set up a center guard or corner guard rather and start all over. I think with, you know, a lead like Schenectady has, there's nothing wrong with splitting rings. And if you can't maintain your deuce, you can still keep the blank in play.
I think some of the hesitation is if you're going to split the rings, then you can't leave it outside the rings.
Well, if you split the rings and you're going wide, it doesn't hurt you with hammer, right? So if you get a corner guard, at least you left the middle open.
Okay.
I think the cardinal sin is to leave a stone in the middle short when you have hammer, and then you're giving the team without hammer an out to come hide behind it. This is what Circle City is going to try to do here. If they can ever get one around this center guard, they can neutralize one or both of these Schenectady stones.
It looks like it might be a little bit heavy.
Yeah, they struggle with draw weight a little bit. Kind of off and on.
To start to curl in a little bit, though, they must have been on the curl line. If they had less weight, might have gone where they wanted it to.
Just, too heavy. If you leave those short, they're usable. You can tap them, you can hide behind them, but they're not good back in the back 12. And again, Schenectady would hammer this in. They're sitting 2 already. With a chance to dump a third one in.
Now it looks like they're going to try and draw behind the center they put up.
And this one's got a little extra weight as well. Sweepers have not even touched it. And that's going to be a good spot for Circle City.
Now again, would you hit that, come down to it at this point?
I think they can hit and roll under.
It's a little bit easier shot to hit. The freeze is pretty specific.
Yeah, you hate to be throwing freezes against multiples when you don't have the last rock, because if you miss the freeze, then you're dropping an extra point. So I think getting rid of a rock's not a bad idea. But it's also nicely positioned for a roll behind the center guard. It's a pretty short roll. And if you roll long, you'll be behind some other stones as well. Couldn't throw a lot of weight at this, which is probably a good choice. Gives you a chance to control this with a broom.
Right over girl.
Oh, maybe they're playing a straight draw here.
Boy.
They almost missed that. I think they needed to sweep that all the way down, right?
Right, that was a question. Was it a hit that was thrown too light, or was it a draw? It seemed like it should have been a hit, so maybe.
Well, I'm not sure what they didn't. Of course, couldn't hear them discuss what the shot call was, but.
And if so, the sweepers really needed to provide some information on that, a little bit more accurate information.
Yeah, I just don't know if that was a straight draw, or if they were planning on chipping off the red stone. It worked out okay. I think their second shot.
But they gave them a place to.
But boy, I think they'd stayed on that and got a little bit of a thicker roll, they could have rolled for shot.
Undercover.
Well, Circle City could play that shot again. He could come off that red stone and again roll under cover.
A lot depends on what Schenectady's going to do here. If they're going to top 4, buried.
Yeah, I think they want to go top 4, maybe bite top button here.
You don't really want to be deep down to it at this point. Down to the back one. If it curls. Oh boy.
They went by their own.
Yeah.
Oh man, is that unfortunate. A tweener.
Again, some of those, it's tough for the sweepers to be a little more accurate on that. But
Yeah, if you're going for the wick, you got to go early there.
at the same time, it was curling in, so the hope was, I'm sure it was, that it's going to curl a little bit more and at least freeze.
Well, I think if you know it's like back 8, you have to go for the wick.
Yes.
That's where getting some good information from the sweepers really helps. So this is a chance for Circle City now to hit and roll line 2, get themselves out of trouble for this end.
Definitely thrown hit weight
here. And just narrow. So now a chance to draw for 2 for Schenectady.
Yeah, with the skip running out there to sweep at that point, I don't think that would have really helped.
No, you need to call line. There's hardly ever any reason for the skip to come out of the house. Someone needs to call line.
That was maybe a up call a little bit earlier, might have kept that stone from rolling out.
Yeah, if you know you're going to over curl, maybe you can sit for shot on the back 4. Last stone, 6th end. Faye Navratil trying to draw for 2 here. Is this going to curl enough? It's going to stop in time. Beautiful draw by Faye Navratil. That is another deuce for Schenectady. They now lead 7-3. I think the big difference in this game is Faye Navratil has made some really fabulous shots down. She has made her 2 almost every end.
Yes, she has.
She's gotten her team out of trouble, and she's made sure she's got some extras. And she got her extra this end to score the deuce.
Yeah, at this point, she might be MVP of this.
So far,
10 games are a long game, though. So let's go to sheet 1. Broomstones. 10-1 over Racine. So they took another couple in the 6th end. Bringing 10-1. Sheet 2, Utica 1. 5-2 over Denver. They took an additional point in the 5th end. Sheet 3. Coyotes. Got ahead in the way right now. I think it's
like it's 8-2.
8-2 over South Shore. Sheet 5. 6-2. Albany over Exmoor. And sheet 6 is done. Didn't really see that one either.
We'll call the final. Looks like Blackhawk was victorious over Composite West.
I don't know if is there a minimum amount of ends they're supposed to play?
There is not until the finals. I think in the finals someone was saying, I think, and I have to check on this, 6-end minimum.
Blackhawk was at 17-2.
And my scoreboard doesn't go that high. And mine only goes up to 15.
So the score was greater than 15.
It was, yeah, it was 17-2 apparently on sheet 6. Our scoring app here only goes to 15.
The Blackhawks are out of where?
They're out of Wisconsin. Blackhawk Curling Club. Actually, Mary Jane was there just a few weeks ago in the Super Senior Spiel.
We had some people here out at the senior Bonspiel out in Denver.
Yep.
Not too long ago. Came back victorious, winning the A event.
It's our Utica 2 team in this Spiel.
They'll be on at 2 o'clock. Schenectady starting right out, 2 in the house. Circle City hit the guard, but opened it up a little bit.
And they spun their shooter on, which was helpful. Those 2 red stones are possible to double out.
So now again, you just keep piling them in.
Well, you could guard here. You could run off that blue stone.
I think I'd rather guard at this point just to protect what's already there. Blue stone's not going to go anywhere out there. I overcurled a bit. Too much.
Yep, and so now Circle City will have a chance to run those reds off and sit 2. I'm not sure about the draw. I think if you don't move these reds, you may not see them again.
Drawing down on the other side. Not going to make it either. He's going to put a guard out there for him.
Going to spill another red one into the rings.
Does not look like it outcounts the blue up in the 12 foot. But it will be promotable later on.
And at some point during an end, you have to decide, am I ever going to see these stones again later in the end, and to get rid of them, especially if there's a double available.
That's why I was surprised with that draw.
Yeah, sometimes you take the chance you need to take when you can get it, because it may not come up again.
Right, that's when, instead of that draw, maybe we should come down and try to remove 1 or 2 of those reds.
Or even push them back, but I think you need to, when that guard's a little better, that's going to make the double difficult.
Still remove.
The one that kills the top one, and then roll in front of the back one. I think that's it's this stone on the top 4 that's going to prevent you from scoring 2, I think.
Looks a little wider, not only pick off the back one, which is better than nothing.
Yep, you'll get the one on the T line. I think draw right down on top of it.
That would be the shot right there.
I like coming right on top of this one.
Right on top, or even a little inside of it.
Yep.
Little baby Christmas tree.
Reverse Christmas tree. Here it comes. Good spot.
But now that's the reverse Christmas tree, right? Don't you want that technically to be?
Yeah, you'd like to have that further. I mean, it's a good spot to cut off the draw path.
Gives them a double opportunity.
Yeah, I'd prefer to have had that stone about 3 feet deeper along that path, and then.
But inside, though, right?
Yeah, even just directly above. But yeah, I'd like to get it underneath the high guard. Make it a lot harder. Might double these two reds out on the top of the house. Nope, just going to punch it back. Oh, not enough weight to get rid of either one, so now Schenectady sits 3.
Still, the middle is still open at this point.
They got half the sheet open, but they're going to plug this out. Schenectady is going to throw another guard on the rock on the top 4. Or he could come right to it.
Basically, same spot they put the other one.
Yep.
So again, giving them an opportunity for a double, actually a little bit better opportunity. Although that's not really room for a double hit.
Well, and you can go around back 4 now for shot. Try to use those 2 stones as guards. So you can go around here.
That might be what she's calling with that
Yep.
broom.
This is going to be very heavy, so you might try to hit and roll now.
Still left it out in the open.
Yeah, it should be accessible. It is shot rock, though.
I think I would have preferred going after one of those reds before I tried that draw with all those reds in there.
Well, if you get behind them, then they can't use those reds to remove your blue. I think that's their thinking, because they're staggered.
It all depends on if you do it.
Yeah, you got to get underneath completely. So Faye Navratil trying to get rid of that blue Circle City stone, and this one's going to over curl, so this will give a chance. Oh, got
back 4, so it looks like it's
red is shot.
Kind of covered up the blue for Circle City.
And there's almost no way to get to that red stone. Got the in off. It's there. It's about a half rock.
Yeah, I can't tell from that broom if they're just going to go for a straight draw.
No, I think they're playing the in off.
I didn't see any, I wasn't looking up when they were putting the broom down.
I think this is a fairly straightforward in off. It's just about exactly a half rock. If they're playing the in turn on this, maybe a little bit thinner half, because you'll get a little bit deader roll. So I would say a thin half here, and you'll get rid of that, both reds. Last rock, 7th end. Circle City looking for an in off here to score their deuce. Going to be a little thin.
Oh.
Yep. Needed more weight.
Yep.
Got to play the crosshouse double. We got to throw that pretty solid weight. Good try. Well, that in-off's going to still be there unless you do something to interrupt that track.
Yeah, a little break or team meeting there on sheet 2. Everybody was on the catwalk. I'm not sure what was going on. Both teams. Do they get a timeout in this event?
No, there are no timeouts.
So there's no fifth end break. No timeouts.
All right, so Faye's just throwing a guard on that in-off. And that cuts off that path pretty nicely.
So what do we have left?
You've got an impossible thin redirect.
How about coming down, hitting that blue that's on the 4 foot on the outside?
And it's going to go, it'll go behind, I think. This blue is not high enough on the 12 foot to play that end off very well.
The one on the 4, you think you can't hit it thin enough to get over?
No. They're going to go for this kind of 3-rock run. That one into that one, into that one. So they got to move 4 rocks.
Well, the only danger is they could put a second red in, I guess.
Yep, that's the danger.
Of course, they're far enough back where maybe this is the time to gamble a little bit.
Yeah, 6 end, they're down 4, or 7th end. Down 4, so you're getting pretty close to, if you're not already at the panic button time, it's pretty close.
As John Madden in football would call this, they need a momentum changer.
Yeah, this is narrow. And so another steal of 1. So Schenectady takes an 8-3 lead after 7. Let's run around our sheets here.
Over on sheet 1, Broomstones, 10. Racine took an additional point in the 7th, so it's 10-2. Sheet 2, Utica 1, 8-2 against Denver. Sheet 3, Coyotes took a big jump. 13-5 against South Shore. Sheet 5, Albany took a big jump. They're up. They took 4, so it's 11-2 over Exmoor. Albany 11, Exmoor 2. And for those who missed it, sheet 6, Blackhawk 1 against Composite West. They're done. And the teams that were ahead took some additional points, opened up the lead a little bit.
In our feature games, Schenectady's ahead 8-3. Circle City has a hammer here in the 8th end.
It's actually been a little bit closer game than the score indicates.
Yeah, Circle City had some really nice ends set up in the first couple of ends of the game. I thought they might take 3 or 4 in a couple of those ends, and Schenectady, Skip Fay Navertal just got them out of the fire on those 2 ends. Made some game savers, I think.
She made some game savers and then made a couple of great shots the other ends there just to open that up a little bit.
Made some nice shots when they had the hammer to get their extras, and that I think that accounts for their lead.
But Circle City's been right there, so next few ends should be interesting.
Well, there's a bunch of corners in place, so if Circle City can stuff a few draws here, they can make some progress.
One of the people back in the glass said their time in 25.5 seconds.
It's about what our ice has been running recently. And Circle City still struggling with their draws.
Actually, there's a number of long corner guards up so far.
I mean, they got the corners to get around, so, and they're all staggered. And I think I'd ignore that rock and just get right around the corners.
Yep, and
Yep.
she is.
Need to find their draw weight. I'd say first couple of ends they were right there, and then they've struggled a bit getting their weight down since that first couple of ends.
Yeah, this one's coming down, looks a little heavy.
And this one's heavy and tight.
Now, if you were Schenectady, would you have played behind those corners?
No, I think the danger of coming around those corners, if you don't sink it under and they hit and roll under. So if you get, say, partway under or don't quite get under and they hit and roll under the corner, you're just gifting them a corner guard. I'd like to draw play away from those corners.
Okay, but they were still, even where they were in the center, was still a little close. Could have been a hit and roll under cover. Instead if they'd been further over the other side of the ice where if they had hit.
I mean, what you want to do is peel all those corners. They're the ones, that's the only way that Circle City can score multiples.
Right now, that's the time to be doing it, right? 5 stones in. This is 6 stone. So now they're almost inviting a hit and roll.
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect rock to hit and roll under with. The one that was just thrown.
This is what we were talking about earlier with this type of score. Probably should have been going after those corners the first opportunity. Start getting rid of everything.
Well, and two of them are Schenectady stones, so
But nothing to hide behind.
and they're going to get almost a nose hit on that. Didn't quite. They wanted to roll under on that one. I mean, the danger with a lead like this is if you try to draw around and you get it wrong, then you can give up a big score. Schenectady's up a bunch here.
But at the same time, leaving theirs out there in the corner is dangerous also. They're giving their opponent cover.
Right. So Schenectady doesn't need any guards in play at all. They're happy to trade hits at this point. And Bluestone goes away.
It's actually calling for a draw.
Yeah, hide behind those stones on the top 12. Trying to use any guards that you can at this point. But they've just been way heavy on their draw weights in these last few ends.
This one's going to be heavy also. If it doesn't, I think it's going to go right through. It's not helping a bit right now.
Now Schenectady will probably chase off the remaining blue stone. This one's still backing up.
Right by. They actually swept it by so it wouldn't tick it in.
Looked like there might be just a little bit of a fall out there that wide. Quite sure what they're trying to do. Maybe coming to the hole there.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, that looked like too much weight for a draw, though. But obviously it wasn't enough weight. No, the angle they hit it.
So Circle City is shot, so they just need to get a second rock in to set up a potential deuce.
Schenectady's going to want this blue rock to go away.
Yep, we're going to take a second crack at this. We'll see if this one falls out. Taking tight ice here. And so Faye showed him how to do it.
Coming in and stuck around. It's like Circle City is going to try and take a couple of these out. What do you think? Take them out or draw behind them?
I don't think it's doesn't really help to take anything out at this point. I think just go around these.
It's a wide open house to draw to.
You got a couple ways you can go. You can play the out-turn draw around that cluster of corners, or you could play the in-turn draw around the center guards. But Circle City needs points. I think they need to play an offensive shot here.
Right, if you're successful and remove both of these, it doesn't really help them at this point.
No, they're just playing for a single at best.
And they're actually removing guards that might help them. Especially with those guards being staggered.
Exactly.
They're really not in a run-back position. not going to get both of them.
And that'll overcurl. And does not hang around.
So that wasn't very successful for what they were trying to do.
Schenectady is just trying to draw one through the port. And then force Circle City into a difficult draw for their single. Last rock in the 8th end for Schenectady. Just looking to draw in.
Or at least block that draw path.
And successfully done. So now Circle City will be forced into a wide in-turn or out-turn draw for their single.
Well, this way, if they're a little wide, they've got a chance for a wick. Wide and heavy. The other side, they do a straight draw. Full 8. We'll give them a point.
You can just touch the 8s. Yep, so straight in-turn draw.
I know when we're sweeping sometimes you say, well, we just need to touch 8 and then you're, well, this one's a little closer, but you're just a little short. I like to think if I need 8, I got to sweep for the tee line.
Well, you know, if you're curling with me, you're going to hear that all the time, right? So, like, you know, we're throwing our last draw. It doesn't matter what we need. Just sweep for tee line, and then you've got lots of. If you're a little short, you're good. If you're a little heavy, you're good. But if you sweep for top 12 and you're a little short, you're going to get embarrassed.
I have swept for top 8 and been short.
Yep.
Not making my skip too happy or myself either. Like right there.
Yeah, and this is going to come up short. That's very unfortunate. That'll be a steal of 4 for Schenectady. And they're
shaking.
They'll take an insurmountable 12-3 lead. So let's call it a final. Schenectady 12, Circle City 3. Score doesn't really reflect how well Circle City played, especially in the first half of the game. I think they struggled a bit with draw weight in the second half. Before we sign off here, let's just give a quick tour of the sheets to recap some of the scores. I think most of these games are decided.
On sheet 1, Broomstone's 11. Got our ice crew down there blocking the scoreboard, so I can't.
I think Racine is still 2.
So let's call 11-2. On sheet 2, Utica 1, 8. Denver is 3. So 8-3, Utica 1. Sheet 3, 15-5. Coyotes over South Shore.
In control.
And on sheet 5 is Albany, 11-5 over Exmoor. Scared me a little bit. Somebody had the room up. I thought it was tied 11-11, but I thought
not to be.
That would have been a big end. So it's 11-5. Albany over Exmoor.
All right. Well, that completes our coverage of draw 2 of the USWCA National Women's Bonspiel. We'll be back here at 2 o'clock for draw 3 for Roger Lett and Tim Conboy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon now.